Hey everybody, we are just itching to start. David and I have been sitting here chatting. Like there's really no preparation we need to do because we have so much to talk about. So we thought, you know what, let's just start. So here we are. We're actually early this time, which is exciting. Guys, I cannot tell you what an honor it is to interview someone who has not only become a true friend to me, but someone who I am privileged to know for several reasons. David was one of the very first people. He was like the second or third people who joined Just One Dime way back when we started this official coaching program. Before that, I used to do one-off consultations, and then we actually started a program specifically focused on Amazon, not just e-commerce in general. And David was one of the very first people to join. He's been with us since that time, and I've had the privilege of getting to know him and seeing, man, this guy brings so much to the table. So I'm asking David if you could just tell us a little bit about your story, where you're from, and how you reach the level of success that you have today. And I'm just going to brag on him. David makes a ton of money on Amazon. Like ridiculous. He makes more money on Amazon than doctors and lawyers make in their profession. And he's doing it at home with his family, and he can go wherever he wants in the world and keep doing that. But David is not proud about it. He's not someone who goes around boasting. I have to pull that information out of him. So I'm just going to ask David to share. David, where are you from, and how did you get to this place today?
Hey guys, how you doing? David Lopez here. Man, what a ride. I arrived to the United States in 2009 from Cuba, a communist country. I became an internet user at the age of 24, believe it or not. Back in my country, we didn't have internet. You couldn't use internet. So from the beginning was, just as any other immigrant, when you arrive to another country, was tough. I had to do a lot of hard works, McDonald's, cleaning floors, all that stuff in order to support my family. But right from the beginning, I understand that, that was not what I was looking for. So I remember one day I was so tired. I worked like 10 hours in McDonald's, and I arrived home and I type in internet. I went to Google and I typed how to make money in internet. And the first thing that came up was Google AdSense. So yeah, I started working with AdSense, just creating my first few websites. And then after that, it was hard. I spent 6 months to before collect my first check. It was $100. And it was so exciting about that. But from that day to the day now, because I have another online business, I'm still working with Google AdSense. Every single month, I collect my checks, and very good checks, by the way. And then after that, I decided to jump to Amazon. I met Seth, and that day also changed my life forever, because the potential of the business. Then I joined the group. It was so awesome from the beginning, and the rest is history. So basically, yeah, a lot of struggle from the beginning. For my effort, my patience. I was constant. I believe in my dream, and I make it happen. So I'm very proud of that.
I love the part where you said you cleaned floors. You were doing whatever it took to
find
a way to pay for your food, to pay for your transportation, to take care of your family. Like, when I meet people, if at some point in their life, David, they had to do something like clean toilets or clean floors, or something that people were like, oh, that's so cool. And who goes, oh, that's so amazing, you got to clean floors. When they're willing to do that, there's something on the inside, some character development that creates, that carries you later on when you are making a lot of money, and helps you not to have a big head or to become arrogant. You know what I mean? It reminds you, wait, I built this from ground up, and it was very hard, and it was difficult, but I know what it's like to work extremely hard and have very little and keep going. And that makes you bigger on the inside. And I love, one of my favorite authors is T. Harv Eker. He's been all over my Twitter lately because he talks about this. He says, if you want to build wealth, you will never grow as big in wealth any greater than you are big on the inside. It's always proportionate. The bigger you are on the inside, the more mature and the more you can handle feedback, criticism, having to work hard, not getting paid enough, being mistreated, being treated unjustly, the easier it is to handle bigger wealth on the outside. It's always proportionate. And that's why we spend so much time in Just One Dime talking about the internal character development is proportionate to your ability to make money, because money is just a tool. It's not a means to an end. It's a terrible God, and it'll destroy your life if it's used that way. But if it's used as a tool to build more wealth, to be smart, and to help others, and to create more opportunity for the important things, that's what matters. And that's what David has done. And I can tell you, and David, I haven't asked you this, and I've never did before, but you look pretty young, man. Like, you are a very young person for the money that you make. That's pretty impressive.
Very well. I just want to keep some.
What?
Yeah. You hear me well? Yeah, this is a book. This is T. Harv Eker, the guy that you're talking about. This book changed my life forever, guys. I used to be mad at everybody for some reason. So things were not going my way. There we go. Yeah. I used to be mad. I don't know. I just get mad with everybody because things were not going my way. And I truly believe that you need to first grow from inside. And then once you do that, everything start coming to you, the opportunities, the money. So, yeah.
I'm here. I'm listening. I just moved something over there to make sure the internet line is good.
I want to add something else. I don't have nothing against schools. I gotta be clear in this. But when I found my business, my previous business, AdSense, the first my father, he's my hero. The first person that I called, he still lives in Cuba, and I told, hey Dad, I found this business. I'm so excited about it, and I think I'm gonna do this. And he told me this in Spanish, but basically he told me, "You idiot, just go back to school." And today, I'm so glad that I didn't hear him. I mean, I'm not saying that you don't have to go to school. I mean, you definitely should go to school, but I just follow my instincts, and that pay off.
Yeah, well, you got an education without formal training. You still got an education learning on your own. And it's true, as a general rule of thumb, the wealthiest people in the world, most of them are entrepreneurs who started their own business, and they had to learn very fast and very hard and make a lot of mistakes. And I'll share one more thing and we'll jump right into our topic. A lot of people, David, when they start selling on Amazon, they're not willing to mess up. They're not willing to say, man, I'm going to lose money. I'm going to gain money. I'm going to lose time. I'm going to gain time. I'm going to get discouraged. I'm going to be encouraged. They're not willing. They want everything to be easy. When that happens, they don't succeed. It's not going to be easy. It's going to be hard. That's one thing we really focus on, Just One Dime, is giving you real-time, realistic information and life experiences to help you have a realistic look. What are you really getting into? We don't want to flavor it all, nice and rosy to make you feel good. No, this is going to be hard, but it's going to be totally worth it. I have not even dreamt, like the thought of going back to working for someone, David, has not even crossed my mind since I fired Apple. I don't even think about it anymore. And I just got an email this morning from someone who says, hey, I'm so glad to join this team. I just fired my boss 3 weeks ago. Like, there's something so exhilarating. But you're also asking for a life that's difficult, and adventure is part of that. What movie would we watch in the world if there wasn't some kind of conflict and heartache and loss and failure? It's part of it. It's part of life. I want to embrace that and let that grow me stronger. And as a result, we succeed, and there's so much more meaning for living. So thank you, David, here's what I love, guys. I'm interviewing someone who lives this. That's what I love about David. He lives this. When we wrote a short little biography for him on our Just One Dime page, because we want to feature our coaches because they are badass, we were able to write, this guy's an immigrant from Cuba. He had nothing. And look where he is today. It's unbelievable. And so that's what we're going to do, is we want to give you all the help we can to help you do the same. So here we go. Today we're talking about the importance of protecting your brand on Amazon. This has never been more important. And we're going to give you some very tactical steps on how to do that. And if you guys have been watching Amazon over the last 6 months, you'll notice a lot of things change. So for example, brand registry has changed. Brand gating has now become meshed in with brand registry. What about an email list? So I'm going to start with David. I'm just going to say, David, imagine I'm a brand new seller on Amazon. What is your first advice to me in order to protect my brand? What would you tell me, brother?
Brand registry, for sure. Brand registry nowadays, trademarking your brand used to be a luxury. Right now, it's a necessity. You need to protect your brand. And you're making a huge investment, you're just spending thousands of dollars. I truly believe if you're gonna jump to the Amazon business, you even are in, or you're just chilling. I mean, there's no chilling mode in Amazon, so you gotta be all in. And with all in, I mean you need to trademark your brand in order to protect your products. You don't do that, you know, any guy, a hijacker from China or even from the States can copy your product, then start selling under you, and then you're gonna lose all your investment, right? So I would say brand registry is a must. It's a must do right from the beginning. So yeah.
And when he says all in, that's a mentality. Brand registry means you're all in. In order to do that, and we outline the steps that you need to take. Hopefully you guys can see this okay. But in order to register your brand on Amazon, the first thing you need to do is you need a registered trademark. It actually has to be registered. Not just the application now, but the register. So they need that number that it's been registered. It takes, on average, 8 months to get a brand registered on Amazon. Sometimes it takes 6 months, sometimes 12. But the way you do it is you go to uspto.gov and you register your trademark so it's protected. And again, it takes time. And once you've done that, you're allowed to apply for brand registry. Now, a lot of people, David, they applied for brand registry before April 30. And that's when they had this big shift. And so they're saying, well, if I already applied and got approved, does that mean I have to reapply? It does. You have to go back with those requirements in order. You'll still be able to list without a global trading number like a UPC. You can still do that, no problem. But you won't have the brand gating privileges if you don't resubmit. So you need to resubmit with your trademark number that's been approved. So the first step is you got to register your trademark. And that trademark has to be the same mark that goes on your product. So if this is your product, it's going to be on your product or the packaging. If the product is so small, you know, like maybe a cord, you may not put it on the cord, but it needs to go on either the packaging or the product in order for it to be registered. And then the second step is it must match the print on the products and packaging, as I mentioned. The third is an image of your brand's logo. So you have to send them an image of your logo. And guys, keep in mind, your logo and your trademark may not be the same thing, but they need to complement somehow. Either the word of the trademark is in the logo or something like that. Amazon needs to see the continuity. And then number 4, you need an image of the product's packaging with the logo. So if this is your product and this is your logo, it's on the product. They see it, a picture of it. Number 5, they need a list of all the product categories you want to be brand registered for. So it might be sports, it might be kitchen, it might be baby, it might be toys and games, it might be clothing and fashion, or bags and luggage. And then finally, a list of countries, and they used to not require this, a list of countries where the product is manufactured. Now, we'll go into this more depth. I just want to give you guys an overview. To get brand registered, you need a trademark. To get a trademark, you apply for that at the USPTO. There's a lot of lawyers out there who can speed this up for you and make sure the name that you're applying for is not going to be, is less likely to be contested, less likely for someone to come along and say, oh no, that's mine. And it de-risks you, but it also costs more money. And that can be anywhere from $800 to $2,000 to pay a lawyer to do that for you. You can do it on your own. And we can go deeper into that if you guys want to. But again, we cannot overemphasize, get your trademark registered with uspto.gov. You need that. Otherwise, Amazon will not take you seriously. And other people, like David said, can list on your listing and can sell what you are selling. And that becomes really frustrating. That's what we call hijacking a listing. It doesn't mean they got into your bank account or they have access to your Seller Central. It simply means, just like you do in retail arbitrage, they found a product in the catalog. Oh, I'm going to sell that one. So they say, I want to sell this one too. And now your listing, their name is on your listing and they're selling it as well. And if they drop the price, they might get the buy box. And then you have a whole whirlwind of things to deal with. Anything, David, you want to add to this, brother?
Yeah, I just want to add, obviously, as I said before, trademarking is a must nowadays. But I know many of you guys have a tight budget. You know, you don't have enough capital. Just because this is important, that doesn't mean that you have to do it. I mean, you can start selling in Amazon, and once that you are up and running, you can do the trademarking. I believe you don't have enough money to do so. Just create your first product, and once that you start getting your first profit out of that, just get that money and do the trademarking.
Yeah. Yep. Mark asked a really good question. He says, what if I already filed for a trademark, but I haven't received the registration number yet? So physically, someone could still list on my listing. What are some ways I can protect myself? What are your thoughts on that, David?
I didn't get the question, Seth. Will you say it again?
No problem. So Mark, he registered for a trademark. He applied for it, but he didn't get it approved yet. He still has to wait several months. And at the same time, that means his brand is not protected on Amazon. So in the meantime, what are some tips or things he could do to protect himself from being hijacked from other sellers on Amazon?
Differentiation, my brother. Just make your product better in every possible way. I love doing bundling, because when you do a good bundle, you make everything harder for the hijackers. Unless that the supplier that is putting everything together for you, or your agent, he decides to betray you and start selling your product under your leasing. I see it very hard that the hijackers try to jump under your leasing when you have several bundles, like very good add-ons. But you won't be protected by the trademarking until the trademark application is done. So yeah, the best way, in my personal opinion, is trademarking. I mean, doing your product better. I mean, different in every possible way.
Yeah, it's so true. The better you make your product, the easier it is to protect it. And it physically, someone can still list on your listing. You physically can't stop it. But here's something you can do that might help. You can still submit a copyright infringement report. So for example, if you have unique artwork on your product, if this is unique artwork, this is tokens, so it couldn't claim that, but if you do, and you registered that with the copyright, copyright is very easy to do. Trademark's a little harder. Patents is not pending, but approved is even harder. But if you register it and you submit the number to Amazon and say, look, this is my artwork, this is not theirs, they shouldn't be copying this, Amazon is very proactive to remove them and even suspend their account. So that's one way you can do that. So if you have unique artwork or unique copy about your company and the story about your product, you can protect that time, because someone else can come along and hijack your listing, someone else, and now you're busy doing, you practically have to pay someone to do this for you, or stay on top of it. Go ahead, David.
The hijackers are normally lazy people. They just when you make it harder for them, they won't go the extra mile. That's my opinion. Never had a problem with hijacker before, because I always bundle my product very well. And also, another way to protect yourself is the suppliers, guys. I mean, we talk about this every single week on the Q&As. Supplier negotiations and the relationship that you can make with those guys. When you may feel your supplier like special, that they see you, I mean, partner, someone that have value for their business, they will protect you. And I believe that's a great way to protect as well your products and your brands. You got the supplier under control. I see it really hard that someone gonna go under you.
Right. Yep. And Cheryl, the copyright is automatically copyrighted by law when you write something. If I right now just wrote, a story, like when this guy wrote his book that we're referring to, it's already copyrighted, but it's not registered. So I have to go to the copyright office. Just Google it and you'll see it. Copyright my work, and you can get it copyrighted. So it's literally, you have a number that backs it up that you can show to Amazon. They need legal proof. Someone mentioned this in the chat, David, and I want to address it. I want to make sure it has the correct perspective. That's my only concern. The comment was, Amazon's getting more and more difficult to sell on, isn't it? Yes, absolutely. But that is a good thing for people who are all in. It's discouraging for people, like David said, who are lazy. It is great for people like David and me, who will do whatever it takes to succeed. I don't care, if I lose a limb, I don't care. We're going to succeed. We're going to find a way. There's that relentless drive. Every day, it is the joy of my heart to get up and say, how am I going to crush it today in Amazon? This is a good thing. And let me explain why. Nothing is more frustrating for someone than to spend thousands of hours and money building up your brand. Someone else make money off of your work because they're a cheapskate and they're lazy. That's frustrating. Amazon rewards those who protect their brand. That's where your mind needs to be, everyone. If you're really trying to just make a little money on the side, don't do this. Amazon used to be great for that, not anymore. If you're serious about becoming a millionaire, maybe even a billionaire, and you want to build serious wealth and you want to start a business and you want to say goodbye to your boss and pour your heart into something that you can build and scale and get way bigger raises than you ever imagined, then you need to be in Amazon. You need to be selling on Amazon. It's yesterday, David, this thought came to my mind. It was like an epiphany. I was walking down the stairs and I was just thinking, Amazon is getting huge. Anyone who really is invested in Amazon and starting and building a brand is going to be very wealthy 10 years from now. Like, this is the time to get in. Absolutely. I love it when people say it's too saturated, because that means they won't jump in and take competition away from me. Amazon is rewarding people who are all in. They are discouraging hijackers. That's exactly what does that mean I have to do more work? Yes. But in the long run, I'll make way more money as a result, because all of a sudden now your brand, you know, the coolest part is when people start searching your brand on Amazon. They type in the brand because they want your products. Now you know you started to build a brand loyalty.
I just want to add, I think the formula is simple. It's hard to put these three together, but if you find high demand product, you make your product better than your competition in every way. When I mean making your product better than your competition, I mean, I gotta say this, guys, many sellers are lazy. If they're doing this phone, they just, okay, are you gonna do the same phone? I'm just gonna add a pen and see what happens. I mean, that doesn't work for me. I need to blow people's mind. I need to see, when I see my product, I see my competitor products. I need to feel like I'm really better than this guy. And the last point, which is price. You get a good deal from China. This is huge. In my opinion, this is the hardest part of the business. If you get a good deal from China, you got demand. You got a better product, and you got same price or competitor price. People are not idiots, guys. People are in Amazon to get a deal. You're offering them a better product at a better price or similar price. They're gonna choose you. That's it. Simple.
Yep. That concept has given me motivation, especially in days when I'm discouraged, because I work so hard for something and then boom, run into another wall. I love that concept. You're 100% right, David. Okay, so I'm gonna step back. There's a ton of, we've had so many questions. I think we've had more questions than any show we have ever had before, David. I think we should do a second one. I think we broke a record. There's so many questions coming in. It's like, I'll say 3 words and there's 30 questions, but these are good questions. So thank you for asking, guys. And we do want to help you. Okay. So a couple things, guys, here we go. When you get your trademark, you may get a trademark that covers multiple product categories. I think Itishri Sethi asked this question. So if you want to sell in sports, but you also want to sell in jewelry. Now, I say this not sarcastically. Good luck getting a trademark that covers both. You can. Like, you want it to make sense. You need a trademark name that is generic and innocuous. By that, I mean okay, for example, think of a good fashion trademark might be Slim Style. Well, Slim Style doesn't really work if you're selling a baby product. You know, Pudgy Baby or Cute Baby might fit for a baby. You see what I mean? It needs to be generic, really generic. Like, not, when you hear the word, you don't necessarily think health, and you don't necessarily think toys, and you don't necessarily think clothing or sports. So if you want to save money, you can start with the very generic trademark that could cover anything. And here's a tip that has helped me. We have numerous trademarks now. Is if you put industries after the main name, it helps to add a generic feel and it makes more sense. So for example, your trademark name, help me think of a good one here, David. Hey, I'll use your last name. Lopez Industries, okay? Nice. Lopez, you like that? Lopez.
That's a weird last name, right?
Hey, I should just do Kneep, because that's much more unique and not as common. I'll just say Kneep. I'll just say Kneep Industries. Let's just say that, okay? Kneep. If I have Kneep Industries, people don't think, oh, you know, sports or clothing. They don't think that. They just think Kneep. What does it mean? It's some German word. It means knife maker, actually. I can have Kneep Industries be my trademark, but that trademark needs to be on my packaging and or my product in order for Amazon to recognize it for the brand registry. Now, is it possible for me to have a specific brand for all of my kitchen products underneath my trademark? Yes. And can I have a brand for all my sports products underneath Kniep Industries. And by the way, that's not my trademark. Yes, you can do that. Does that make sense, you guys? You can do that. But what matters to Amazon is they need to see trademark, product together. That's all they care about. In fact, let me just be blunt. I read this the other day, and it was so good. Amazon doesn't care about you. Amazon does not care about you. That's a fact. When you go into this business, go into it very non-emotionally. Do honor them, and they will honor you. They want you to make money for them and to make their customers feel amazing. Accept that. They don't care, but they don't give a blank about you. They don't. They're too big to care. How could they think about? Oh yeah, well, you lost my account. They don't care. They're just doing their work. So you have to go into this the very analytical mindset. What do I need to do to succeed? There are no shortcuts. I'm going to do it the right way. I'm going to honor them. And therefore, the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to get a trademark. Now, let me add a little plug here. On our team, we have a 90-minute training session pre-recorded from a lawyer walking you through the entire process on how to get your trademark as efficiently and safely as possible. You don't want to get a trademark and then 6 months later, someone's suing you or threatening to sue you. You get a letter from a lawyer saying, oh, by the way, we've been using that before you did. You didn't know. How would you have known? We provide a lot of training on that to de-risk you as much as possible. Having said that, you can still succeed without that training if you want. It's longer, more risky, yes, but you can. But remember, guys, you got to do things Amazon's way because they're getting stricter and stricter and more. I've had to go back and change my blogs to honor Amazon's terms of service because they've become more strict than back when I wrote them. Anything you want to add to that, brother? Did I lose you, David? David, I think you froze, brother. Your face is perfectly still. Like I think he's just posing once you take a picture. Okay, we're good. All right, you might have to leave and come back, man. I think I lost you, brother. All right, I'm going to check out some of the questions. Okay, so thank you, Aether. I appreciate that. Is the VIS already out there? What about taxes? You can protect. So I'm only going to answer questions about logo, trademark, brands, guys, right now because this is a massive, massive topic. Okay, let me start with Chris. You can protect only one brand name with a trademark, not several at once. You can register multiple brands on Amazon, Chris. Absolutely. You can do as many as you like. The only reason I said start with one is because it gets more expensive unless you have a lot of money. It's more, if you're just starting out, most people starting Amazon, they don't have 100,000 sitting there to pull from. You know, when I started, I sure didn't. I had a dime. So yeah, you can do that. What I would recommend you guys, because I think some people get too ambitious and it hurts them, do not start with 14 categories you want to sell in. I know it sounds awesome and romantic. Just start with one. If I were you, I would pick one. Pick toys and games and just dominate that category. Get one trademark, just toys and games. You have so much a better return on your investment because the more you sell in that category, the more you learn, the more you're going to know who all the top players are. You're going to know who the weak ones are, the strong ones, who to watch out for, who not to worry about. You're going to do so much better than if you start in toys and games and clothing and kitchen. Now you have 3 times the amount of knowledge needed and required in order to succeed, and that's not good. So I would recommend start with one trademark, one product category, and dominate it. Now let me give you a side example of why this is important, Chris, because this relates to several of your questions. If you move to Austin, where I live in Austin, Texas. If you moved here to Austin, you decided you wanted to start your own store. You would not start a store in multiple categories, most likely, unless you're like general merchandise, which is very difficult. You would probably start just doing like a hair salon or a coffee shop or a tax advice business. And you would learn very well in that one industry because it's better in this situation. You don't want to differentiate yourself across categories. You want to start by differentiating yourself within a category. It's much easier for me to come out with 3 better toys than the best competitors than to try to come out with better toys, better sports, and better health and beauty. See what I mean? So that's what I recommend you guys do for that. Let me check my phone really quick and see if David Skyped to me. Okay, hopefully he'll be back soon. Okay, going down to the questions. Let's see here. Should we put our logo on only one sample or all the products? So your logo would need to be in all the products, Ramsey. And again, it depends on the product. If you're selling a ring, it's going to be hard to get a logo on there unless you put it on the inside, but some people like to put personal messages on there. So in that case, you would put it on the packaging. But yes, every product, either the product or the packaging or both, it depends, needs the logo. We do a lot of clothing and stuff. We also do Bluetooth Wire 2 speakers for a different Amazon store. So it depends. For most of those, we can put the logo on both the packaging and the product. Hey, David, you're back, man.
Yeah, my internet went off. Sorry, guys.
It's okay. You were just like this. It looked like you were posing for a picture or something. Maria has this question. Can you have XYZ kitchen products introduced by XXX Industries? Absolutely, you can. That's a great way to do it. Absolutely. So if you had, I'll just use the example, Lopez Industries, you could say, let's say he was doing sports. So let's call them Speed, just for fun. Well, that sounds like a drug. That's bad. Promise I'm not on speed. Speed and Thrill. I don't know. You could say Speed Products by Lopez Industries. Yes. So Speed Products is your brand name for that category, but you still have your trademark name on there as an overarch. Yes, absolutely. Another question. Does my LLC need to be the same name as my trademark? No, not at all. Your LLC can be named, 370410. No one cares. No one cares. It doesn't really matter what it's called. What matters is what you're doing business as, which is DBA, which is the same thing as your trading name. You're doing business as. That is how you're presenting yourself to the public, but it does not have to match your trademark at all. McDonald's, the company behind McDonald's is not McDonald's. McDonald's is just is for marketing. That's what they've trademarked. The company behind it has a different name. See what I mean? They're corporation. Okay, so thank you for the information. Where can I contact with David? Omar, if you join our team, David can help you. How do you like that? Yeah, we don't put people's information out to the public. No, we don't do that. So yes, if you want to reach out for help, join our team and you'll definitely have access to him for sure. Okay, so yes, good to have you back, David. All right, so David, anything you want to add? And then I thought we could start talking about email lists. David, did I lose you again, brother? I think I lost him. Okay, well, I will continue going. Ramsey has a question. He says, should we go with generic brand for all the categories or one category with one brand? I would go with one generic trademark for one category and then a brand that really sounds like that category. That's what I would do. Then once you've dominated that category, I would go to the next one. That's what I recommend, Ramsey. Do you advise for start to use sticker logo instead of print on packaging to save money? Drago, that's exactly what I did. And yes, absolutely. That is exactly what I would do, brother. That's how I started. I started putting a sticker, and that was my way of protecting my product. Should we go? And I know it's pretty pathetic, from a perspective, but understand real value and perception value. If it's a good sticker, people don't, oh, it's a sticker, it's cheap. People don't think that. Sticker does not look bad. It ends up saving you money if you print it when you're doing large quantities. That was the main reason we shifted over to printing instead of using a sticker. Okay, should we go with generic brand for all? Okay, we answered that question. Yes, he is playing, Kadisha, he is playing hide and seek, I know. What do brand privileges mean? So for example, Jenna, here's an example of a brand privilege. If your product is brand registered on Amazon, which requires a trademark, and all these other steps, once it's been approved, other people cannot sell on your listing. In other words, if I am selling headphones, okay, by Kniep Industries, and someone else comes along that says they want to sell the same product because it's in Amazon's catalog, they can't do that. They literally cannot do that, which is a huge help because as you start selling more and more and more, some people want to piggyback on your listing and sell what you were selling. That's the biggest advantage. The other reason is brand loyalty. The reason you get a trademark at the beginning is to protect you. Later on is to promote you. I'll say it again. Trademarks are first to protect you, later to promote you. And there's a difference between the two. First, you need to protect yourself. That's why we're talking about all this. But however, you're going to get to a point where Amazon is rewarding true, real businesses more and more and more. Like a legitimate real business. They have their own product line. They have a connection with certain suppliers or they are their own supplier. And that's where brand loyalty begins to grow. And the number one best way to develop brand loyalty is to get a list of people's names and emails and do this honorably. This is a huge thing for us. Never, ever, 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 if someone gives you the name and email, would you in any way give that information to someone else? Honor it, protect it. There are federal laws against the misuse of email. Like, it's seriously, you could get in trouble. But the best way to do that is when you ship a product. If you're shipping your super cool product out, in the package, they're going to get a little card in the package. And that card is going to have an incentive to make them want to go to a landing page. By the way, guys, David can help you with this if you have him build your website in a program. He does that. And we have an insanely awesome opportunity to build it. And you need a website, by the way. You have to have a website to have this happen. If you don't have a website, Amazon will not let you register your brand. If you don't register your brand, you can get piggybacked and hijacked and all that other crazy stuff. But when you ship out your product, in the packaging, there's going to be a little card, and that card is going to have a link on it. And you're going to give them a good reason to go to the link. For example, register your product warranty. And don't just do it to get their email. Truly honor that warranty. Like, if it's a 1-year warranty, you have to go here to register if you want to get it. Or give them something like 7 different ways you can use your Bluetooth speaker in ways you never imagined, right? That's pretty cool. But when they go to the link, it has a little box for their name and their email. I did the same thing for all of our Amazon stores and for just one dime. You guys have seen it. And they will put in their name, put in their email. Now you have their information and you guard and protect it. Email is one of the best ways to create loyalty because it's personal. When I go to my email box in the morning, and the title, there's several people I subscribe to, very few. I'm very picky about it, but there's some people who do it really well. And it'll say, the other day I got an email like this, David. In the title, it said, Seth with a question mark. Did you know ... I was like, that's really good. It got my interest. And when I read the email helped me be better selling on Amazon. Therefore, I want it. It was valuable to me. So in the same way, you want to send out regular but not too much emails that actually, some of you guys got this email. Now you're getting value in this free training. You see what I mean? Bring people value. Then they start to remember you, they appreciate you, and you develop a following. When you develop a following, your brand begins to stand out. And now you've moved from trademark to protect me to trademark to promote me. All right, David, back to you. Can you talk a little bit about email lists and what you've done and landing pages? And I just started into that topic a few minutes ago.
Yeah, email by far. I'm sorry, of course. Can you hear me now?
Yeah, I can hear you. Go ahead, man.
Some feedbacks. So email list is by far the most effective marketing tool nowadays. It's more effective than anything else, but it's hard, and it's hard to get an email list. But once that you get it, man, that's a game changer. You can use it in so many ways. Let's say you have a new product, and you build this audience. You can ask these people to review your product. This is a great way to get reviews because you have connection with these people. In order to build an email list, it will be required, obviously, a web page. The most common way to work in your email list is doing Facebook ads. It's a great, very effective way. All these require some study. You need to learn how to do this. It's not something that you just, out of the way, because otherwise you're going to lose money. You're going to lose money on Facebook ads, and it's hard to get a lead. But once that you get it, I mean, it's priceless. So you will need a landing page. You're going to offer this the visitor something to have value. You can maybe an ebook or just a course, something like that. So they will basically, in order to get that, they will give you the emails, and then you're just gonna collect the email, and then you're gonna start making the connection with them. Well, basically, this is something that before you start spending money, I advise you to learn about it. It's not that hard, but it requires some knowledge. You need to learn how to, how to work with how's the tool that we use, Seth, for email lists.
Yeah, it's an auto email responder or an auto email marketing tool. Yeah. So some examples of that would be Infusion Software, ConvertKit, MailChimp. If you send out a bunch of emails from Gmail, you're going to get your account disabled And like we tested it. First it was 500, no problem. Then we went down to 200. Oh, we got okay, down to 100, and people were still getting their accounts suspended. Because what Gmail does, they're very smart. The servers are smart. It doesn't just have to be Gmail. It could be Yahoo, if anyone still uses Yahoo anymore. But what they do is if they see you sending a bunch of emails, they think you're a spammer. Yeah. And therefore, they will disable your account, which is why you need an email service. Now, I know at this point, some of you are thinking, I know this, you're thinking, okay, I have to get a trademark. That's going to take me 6 to 12 months. It's going to cost me money. Yeah. And then I also have to get an email autoresponder. Like, how do I figure that out? Well, number one, we train you, we teach you, we show you. We have a whole freaking webinar and explanation on all of this in our program. However, let me share this something else. You don't have to have a trademark registered before you start selling. You don't have to have an email, what is the word? An email responder or an email marketing tool before you start selling. What David is saying is you need to get started on these now as you go. It's sort of like, this is how businesses work. From day one, you need to be asking this question: how can I start making money? You need to be asking that question. Immediately start making money. Immediately start selling. I don't care if your product is crap. You need to start making money. Don't get everything set up perfectly. Okay, when we're ready to launch, no. You need to start selling as soon as you can. Legitimately. That should take you between a month and a half to 3 months. Get selling. Start making money. But as you go, you're going to register for your trademark. You're going to start learning about email converter, email autoresponders, and you build your business like that. When David started, he didn't have everything set up. I sure didn't. Then we started doing retail arbitrage. Well, I started by just trading a dime on the streets. I'd walk around and talk to people. And then we started selling stuff on eBay. Then I started selling books from my library to Amazon, and we just kind of learned as we went. I'm proud to say I've had my account suspended 2 times now and got it back. Like I'm learning, and I'm learning how to do things and do it wrong and mess up. So be okay with that part, okay, guys? Don't let this overwhelm you. But at some point, you need to do what we're telling you. Otherwise, you're not going to build a brand, and you won't be one of those people who are making, literally, and I use this term very seriously, making millions on Amazon.
This business, guys, I mean, obviously it's all about money. Once that you get your first product up and running, it's like a snowball going downhill. It's like growing, you start moving faster. And then all these tools that we're talking about, I mean, that would be nothing. They're just tools, and obviously you will have the money to invest in them. But they're necessary, obviously. But that doesn't mean that you need to use it from the beginning. You just need to start making money, and then you start moving forward.
Yeah, absolutely. Emador says, can your logo have a .com in the name? I'm sure your logo could have anything in the name, but as far as trademarking it, I'm not sure. I could be wrong on this. I don't think you can have .com in your trademark, but once you've purchased whatever your domain name is, so let's say if it was, lopezindustries.com, then I think someone's going to go out and buy that now. lopezindustries.com, you could have Lopez Industries would be your trademark, Amador. I'm going to go ahead.
That's one of my requirements. When I'm looking for a new brand name, I always make sure. Some people, I mean, sometimes because the domain name, that .com name is taken, that doesn't mean that someone have the trademark. I mean, this is a whole business. I mean, people buy domains by bulk, and then when another guy, for example, let's say you have a brand, a very popular brand, you need the domain, then now you need to pay a lot of money to this guy. So this is normal. But that's one of my requirements. I need to have the .com domain in my, I need to own it. That just made me feel safer. So yeah.
Absolutely. And I like what you said about safer, because peace of mind is so important in this business too. To not have to sit there and worry, oh shoot, am I going to lose my money? Am I going to lose my listing? Like that's a huge part of it. Itishri Sethi says, can I use the same brand name for different categories? You absolutely can if you want. Just make sure it makes sense. Remember, branding is 2 things: it's protection and it's advertisement. So just make sure it makes sense. But guys, most people overthink the trademark and the brand. They're like, okay, I gotta get it right. Oh, that's too trendy. That's too cute. That's too suave. I need to more. Like, they just overthink it. And here's the thing, guys. Remember this: if you just today heard the word Nike and never heard anything else about it, probably more than half the people in this room would say that's a dumb brand name. I'm just guessing. It's like Nike. What is that? Sounds like the name Nikki, but how does it have to do with sports? Like Nike? I don't know. It just, after a former U.S. president. It's weird. Think about the word Nike by itself. Just subtract all the brand value and just think about it. Nike did not become a powerful brand name until they had a product and they had followers. So you probably overemphasize your brand name and underemphasize the importance of getting people's names and building a loyalty. Do this, okay? Underemphasize the value of a brand name, overemphasize the value of providing an awesome product and creating a brand following. Because in the end, you could have the dumbest brand name in the world and totally crush it. People never go, well, I'm not going to buy that product. Its brand is weird. They don't do that. In fact, once they know about your brand and you're doing an awesome product, they take what the value of your brand and they infuse it into the name. Nike, well, that's cool. They have high quality. But that's not because the name's cool. That's because the product, they make some really badass shoes. See that, guys?
This is such a great topic. I'm now, because I've been working directly with a lot of guys, new members, because I'm in charge of the website developing. So these people came to me with a logo and they plan to brand the company name. You don't need to brand, you don't need to make your company name your brand name. For example, my company name is App Innovation Inc. But think about it. I cannot name any product like that, App Innovation. What the hell is that, right? So you can choose any name that you want in the world. The way I do it, just take a piece of a notebook and I start writing down words that I like, some stuff that I like, and combine them with other cool words like, I don't know, premium or boss, or I don't know, whatever it comes to my mind. Then combine them, and normally I came up with a pretty cool name. Gotta be something. This is my opinion. I always look for something short and that sounds good and it looks good as well when you write it.
This is coming from a website developer and someone who knows how to create logos and brands. And I'm just gonna put in a plug for David right now. He's one of the coaches for Just One Dime. One of our bundles, our packages, the Ultimate Bundle, he and his team build a full-blown e-commerce website for you. And soon, he's also going to be offering building a logo and a brand name for you. You have to have a website to get your brand registered. You have to have your brand registered in order to protect your brand. That's why we're adding this to what we do, is because it's become so important. Anything that's not going to help you, we're going to strip away. Anything that will help you, we will add. There's some other questions in here. Sakin says, is it possible to register a brand without having the trademark? Absolutely not. There was a day where you could do that before April 30, 2017. Now that does not work anymore. You have to. And someone else said, go ahead. Yeah?
It's so easy, anymore.
Yeah. How easy is it to register a trademark in the USA while I'm outside the country? So Sama, I have trademarks registered or pending registry in the European Union. And I live in the US. So the way I did it is I paid a lawyer to do it for me. And it wasn't that expensive. Completely 100% worth it. Because they take care of all the paperwork and everything else. So if you're going to do that, getting a lawyer is going to save you time. Every time you make a business decision, guys, think about your resources. There's people, there's time, there's knowledge, and there's money. Whichever one you have least of, value it the most. If you're short on money, do it yourself. If you're not short on money, but your time is very precious because it's limited, then you need to pay for it to be done. So again, people, time, knowledge. So I'm forgetting one. Sorry. People, time, knowledge, and money. Those are your 4 resources. And so I just do a balance of my resources to make that decision. David, someone says, how can I change my Amazon register as sole proprietor to account register? Oh, you just go into the account and change it. If you go into Seller Central and go to your settings, it'll allow you to do that. And they're going to ask you for your EID, your employee ID number, employer identification number. No problem, Jenna. Happy to help you. Okay, let's see. Do you recommend any service for brand registry? Yes. Just One Dime. They're really, really awesome. We give you the knowledge and the tools so you can know how to do it. Okay, so let's see. What's up, Techaholic? Okay, Kadisha says, okay, that's getting inappropriate. I'm going to remove that comment and gone, I believe. I'm sorry, guys. Hold on one second. Okay, yeah, don't, guys, this is not a place to talk trash, so we're not going to do it. We're here to help people succeed. Okay, Drago says, do you have to get approved trademark to start brand registry, or you have to get approved? Absolutely. You have to get approved. Otherwise, you can't. So it's 100% essential. There was a day where you didn't have to, and you could just apply. And as long as you had your logos matching your product packaging and your website and all that, you were fine. But now it has to be approved. But here's the thing, guys. Start now, because it takes time to get the trademark registered. And once it's registered, then you're good to go. So at least get it in that process while you're waiting. Because here's what happens. They're doing after you apply for it, they're doing a search to make sure there's no competition. And then they have to publish it in what's called the Gazette. This is what they do in the US. I could not tell you what they do in the European Union because I have someone who does it for me. And then if no one can test it, then it's registered. And that can be very short or very long. I will say this, if you get a lawyer, it's a lot faster because they can jump through the hoops a lot more quickly and they have the knowledge to do it.
And you can also make mistakes. You do by yourself. There is chances that you make mistakes. This application process is a little bit complicated. So I totally, advise you to get a professional help.
Right, exactly, absolutely. All right, we have a bunch of people sharing some trashy stuff in here. You guys go make money, do something with your life. You're not gonna feel better tomorrow. You're not gonna feel happier if you're talking about inappropriate stuff. Like, do something with your life, guys, seriously. Okay, Dan Voss says, Seth, how hard is it to get a trademark if you're not a US resident? I'll speak from experience. Being in the US, getting a trademark in the European Union, it's less strict over there than it is here. So apparently it's, according to my lawyer, it's gonna be easier, but I don't know. I couldn't really tell you directly because you're doing it the opposite end. It just takes time. It's more like, I'll just give you guys a real quick overview. You wanna do what's called a knockout search first. There are websites you can go to, such as knowem.com, knowem.com, and you search for your trademark name. And you do a wide broadcast, and it'll show you if anyone else is using that name. It's called a knockout search. If you see that no one is, now keep in mind, if they're using the same name for a completely different industry, you're fine. If you're selling toothbrushes, but they're providing legal counsel, there's no conflict. But if you are selling toothbrushes and they're selling bathroom products, even if the name is spelled different, like, the letter H, the number 8 versus ATE. See what I mean? If it sounds the same or it's like a misspelling of the same thing, then that's a conflict of interest. So the first thing you want to do is do a knockout research. Make sure that your brand name is not out there already being used by the same industry. If it's not, the second step is you go to uspto.gov and see if they have any competition. You can search your name that you're looking at and see if they have anyone else using it. If they don't, then you register.
Yep.
Cool. All right. We have so many questions in here, brother. It's crazy. Okay, if I start with a product that is sold by many other people, will it sell well or not? Good question, Techaholic. Simple answer. People is what David said before. People are going to keep buying products on Amazon, and it's only getting bigger. If you have the best product in a competitive price, yours is going to sell. And we train you how to do that in just one dime. Okay, let's see. Awesome. Thank you, Dan Voss. I appreciate it, brother. Okay.
Used to be.
What's that, brother?
No, I was back to the making your product different. It used to be easy. You could make money just getting a good deal from China, same product, just put it out there, and you right away we start getting sales. But competition is too hard just to do that. You really need to do your product better. When you do so, you're gonna make money. I guarantee you that.
Yep. Yeah, very good, Jonathan. I added the trademark search right up there. Yeah, no problem, man. And then Dung Nagayan says, do you recommend flat file listing or common listing on Amazon if I don't have brand registry yet? You can do either. It's up to you. If you're doing a ton of products, flat file is more efficient, but it's kind of a pain in the butt at first because you have to learn how to do it. A lot of people don't like it. Or you can just do individual listings. It doesn't make any difference in that. Okay, so what I want to do, oh, thank you, Chris. Appreciate it, brother. What I want to do is I'm going to go through a couple topics we talked about. So first of all, get your brand registered. But to do that, you need a trademark. So that's your first step. Second, start collecting emails. And the way you do it is you build a landing page. Now, in the past, I taught this, David, and this is why we provide real live content. Like, we're constantly adjusting based on Amazon and what they're doing. In the past, I would encourage people to include a link in the message they send to their customer. And this link would be something like this. Like, let's say we're selling a coffee mug. I'd use this as an example. 7 ways not to drink coffee. And it's interesting. And the link would be in the message in Seller Central. So they would click on the link and they would go to a landing page, and there would be a name box in an email. They put in the name and email and a big button that says, get the 7 tips. And they click the button and it automatically downloads that article. Now I have their name and email. So when I come out with a promotion for my next product, I can say, let's say David bought my product. Hey, David, 20% discount. Get this, use this code. And I can start launching and building loyalty. And then I can say, hey, David, let me know what you loved most about it, and have a little button to review. If you had any concerns, email me directly. We're going to take care of it. That discourages them from giving me a negative review. Can't directly ask for it, but I can still say, if you have any concerns, let me know. That's legit. The reason I don't recommend that anymore is Amazon, not only do they say you may not have any external links in the message, but now they're starting to police that. They're starting to go into people's accounts and say, hey, you have an external link, you may not do that. That's why we recommend an insert. So when you sell your product, include a card with a link on it that they will go to. That's the landing page, you see? And when they go to the landing page, you can click their email. That's why you need, one of the reasons you need a website. You also need a website because you can't get brand registered without one. Does this make sense, you guys? All of this is connected. You need these pieces in order to succeed. If you're overwhelmed, I want to encourage you. You can make this happen. You just have to think long-term. If you're like, oh, 2 months, I'm going to be rich. No way. I'm going to build a business. It's going to take time and sacrifice. Yeah, because David, I would rather make $10 here, then 20, then 40, then 80, then 160, and keep going. And in a month, or I'm sorry, 10 months, I'm making way more money than I would make in a year working for a company where I start with a lot more money, but my raises are just enough to buy more coffee to, dull my boredom. You see what I mean? Like, think about how you can scale it, you guys. That's so, so important.
I hear some feedback.
Go ahead. No, you're good. Go ahead.
When you work from home full time, once that you get to that point, trust me, brothers, I mean, you don't want to go back again. When I joined Amazon, my other online business was struggling. I lost half of my income. And my wife, she recommended me, hey, I think you will need to get a job. I say, hell no. I mean, I don't care what I have to do. I'm not going back to the wild again. So what I'm trying to say, when you commit, you have the right mindset. You see, and this is what I want for me and my family. You guys are going to make it happen. Yep. That's what I can tell you.
Yeah, that's so key. One of the focuses of our group, like Eric Neff mentioned, here's what we love to do, okay? Our dream is to build an army of entrepreneurs around the world that learn how to make money and fire their boss. One of the joys of my days when someone emails me, David, and they say, I fired my boss. I love that. Like, yes, I know that sense of exhilaration and freedom. The other day, I think I mentioned this before, someone posted a question. Just for fun, I counted all the answers. It was a little over 2 hours. 56 people answered. Like, it's amazing. The community wants to help you succeed. And it's not just the coaches and me. It's the community of people. There are some very high-end sellers in there. They're not coaches. They don't have that title, but they're very experienced. Some doing well over $1 million a year. And they're just crushing. And they know what they're doing, and they can help you with that. So we want to make this. So anything here we share with you, we want to make it easier for you. If you want that next step of help to get there faster, yes, we can absolutely help you with that. And David is the man, he and his team, who will build that website and help you set all this stuff up. David, is there anything else you feel like we should cover on this topic? Because I know it's very, very, very big.
Well, you already talked about the guarantee activation. I think that's huge. It's a very effective way to build a list and connect with your buyers. So yeah, that's something that I advise you to do. And you need a website as well to do so. Email list. Brand. Did you talk about a brand ungating your brand? I mean, ungating a category.
No. Go ahead, man.
Yeah, website also would be great when you're applying for, let's say you want to start selling on beauty. In order to do so, you will need to provide Amazon, first of all, with invoices, 3 invoices that we ask you for, or you can ask the manufacturer. So if you on your website, you can just create your website as you are a manufacturer, and then just put all the data or all the information that Amazon would be looking for in that website, and then just provide them the invoice, and you'll be ready to go. I mean, you should be ready to go. They should accept you after that. So yeah, that's another one.
Yeah, that's huge. And one of the best ways too is if you just start selling and you build health, because Amazon's not just going to look at, oh, they have a website, they have a logo, they have a trademark, you're approved. They're asking this question too. When I look at their store, do I see a brand? Do I see they're offering something different and better that's unique that justifies them being gated, their brand being gated, so no one else can sell it?
Yeah, sales are one of the main things that they will look at it. Yeah. So it sells as well.
It makes them take you seriously. It really does. So that's another reason. Don't wait to get everything set up. Start selling now. Even if you just barely have enough, do what we call the minimum viable product. Kyle and I talked about it last week when we did an interview. You just enough for someone to want to buy it. Start with that. And then iterations. Keep making it better as you go. Don't wait. Don't wait on making money. Otherwise, what's the number one reason companies fail? Lack of cash flow. You have to have cash flow to sustain what you want to do. So in order to do that, start selling immediately. Even if you want to do arbitrage at first, do that. But then as you go, you get better. And Joe, yes, it is a gray area putting the inserts into the packaging. And it's a gray area. I've never seen Amazon do anything against anyone for dropping in an insert. And I'm telling you, like, very, very high-end sellers who make more money than me, who are like, everything depends on Amazon. They're doing it. I'm not just saying because they're doing it makes it okay. It is a gray area, yes. But in my opinion, it is 100% worth the risk. What they do say is don't do anything that Amazon says, don't include a link that interacts with the sales cycle. Well, if you're adding value, you're increasing value to them. Oh, I'm going to give you something else. I've never seen Amazon do anything against that. Go ahead, brother.
Warranty is always one of my bullet points. I think that creates trust, that big trust with the buyer. So I never had a problem before. So I take advantage of that. Also, just make sure that you have a good product. You don't want to launch a crappy product and offer 2 years guarantee, and then that would create a problem for you, right? So just make sure that you have a product, that you trust your product. You know that it's something that won't break in the next year or 2 years or whatever you choose to offer them. But definitely, I've been using it, guys, and it works beautifully. And I also used the guarantee in my insert card. One side I tell them, thank you, you're awesome, all that stuff, and then in the back side, I create 3 steps how to activate your guarantee. And one of the steps is just go to my website. I'm not selling nothing in that link. They're just gonna give you the information to activate the guarantee, and you're ready to go. And then you got the email list. You got someone that is interested in the product that you're selling for future launching. So that's priceless in my opinion.
Yeah, I love how you put on one side you're complimenting them of the card. On the other side, you're giving them an action to do. So one side, they may be having a bad day. They open the package and like, whoa, it says you were awesome, or thank you so much, or I hope this encourages your day. Like that, speaking life. Then they turn it over and I can get added value. That's brilliant, man. I love it.
Yes,
so yes, go ahead.
Yeah, just one more thing. There is another way that we are right now. We're trying to do this with a new product. It's just including just sending them to your Facebook page, and there you're gonna launch a contest. And that, I believe that was gonna work really well. You want to earn, I don't know, $100 gift card in Amazon, go to our Facebook page. We're gonna be we're gonna be making a contest. Just go there to have the opportunity to earn that.
That's awesome. I think we should, if you're cool with this, David, we didn't plan this. We should do another webinar like this next week. Same topic.
Yeah, absolutely.
Because there's so many questions we can get to. Like Brian Wheaton has a great question. Itishri has another question. Dimitir has another question. Yeah, exactly, Joe. I don't see how they could police it correctly. Like, I'm gonna open every package and see if there's an insert in there. Yeah, my philosophy on business has always been I don't mind stepping a little bit into the gray, not on an ethical issue, but simply on a policy issue, like a little bit. I push it, innovation, just a little bit to see how far I can go, but I'm wise too. I'm constantly in connection with other sellers. So if something new comes up I don't know about, I know when to pull back. Like I do live a little bit risky and I don't mind. And some people, they're going to be more conservative, and other people, they're way over that gray line. I mean, way over. It's like, see you, Seth. And that's fine. And I don't do that because they might make a lot of money now, but in the future, it could can their business. So that's how I operate. I mean, it's up to you. You do what you feel is safe. We're just going to provide you all the information we can and help you as much as we can get there. And yes, to answer the question, everything we talked about, yes, it is included in this course. Everything. It's when you're in, you get all of it holistically. And we don't have a deadline on the bundle, guys, as far as how long it's going to last. But let me put it this way. It breaks down to 4.5 hours of live coaching every week for an entire year. And even though it's a one-time payment, it ends up being right under $100-ish a month, like right around $100 a month for an entire year. And you're getting value and training and a website and everything you need to succeed. Like I'll say it again. I'm waiting for another Amazon coach to come up and say, hey, we got something better. I don't see it. Because we're not giving you a program goodbye. We're trying to train up people to help them succeed. There are people on our team who are making nothing on Amazon just months ago. Now they're doing $40,000 a month. Boom! Like it's like awesome. Not everyone's doing that. Well, some are $3,000 a month, some are $4,000. But man, like they're getting the money back. It's insane.
I take $2,000. That's a salary, man.
That pays for my investment, I'd say. And I love this part, David. It's a family. Even though it's growing fast, people help each other. They care. You know, there are 4 times now I've kicked people out of the group. And that's because they were not contributing. They weren't being helpful. They were being discouraging, negative, inappropriate. I protect this community. This is not your Facebook community. You go in there and the whole thing is, political comments. What do you think of Trump? What do you think of Hillary? Someone answers my question. Someone says, you're an idiot. Like, we don't do that. We are a family. We keep it clean. We keep it professional, but we push and we keep it real. If someone's doing something that isn't going to help, we'll tell them like, hey, fix this, change this. We try to keep it as raw as we can because it's a family. It really is. Guys, you've been awesome. Great questions. We're going to do this again so we can answer more of your questions. David, thank you for taking time out of your day because I know you value your time greatly as I do to be here and to help people. You're part of Just One Dime. I hope this has helped you get better on Amazon, protect your product, and to succeed. I can't wait, guys, until 5 years from now we can look back and see the amazing things that have happened in people's lives as a result. Like literally, I'm getting chills on my arm right now talking about it. You guys have an awesome day. See you later. Thank you, David. Have an awesome day, brother.
Bye.
Bye.